The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success. Well, hello, and welcome to the Success for Women show, where you can view us on Talk for TV and listen to us on the Women for Women Network. I am Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, your host, and my mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Well, today's topic is going to be very interesting. It's Love, Lead, Succeed, and my guest is Isabel Tremblay. Let me just give you a little bit of background on Isabel. Isabel Tremblay is the president of iNovating. So we're talking iNovating. She is also the author of Love, Lead, Succeed, a bestseller which talks about the supernatural approach to business and life, which blends her personal story with practical tools for redefining success without sacrificing yourself. Isabel spent 24 years leading marketing for some of the biggest names in eyewear, all while juggling executive roles and raising 2 children. From the outside, she looked accomplished. She looked accomplished. On the inside, she was burning out. Walking away was the bravest decision she ever made. I'd like to bring my guest on to the show, Miss Isabel Tremblay.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to have this important discussion with you, Dr. Madeline. I know we share similar missions, and I'm super excited to share my insights.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have you here to hear some of the nuggets that you're going to share with us. But before we get started, I always like to read the standard bio on my guests. But then I like to ask them the question just to, we want you to tell us what you want us to know about Isabel Tremblay.
Yes, well, first of all, I'd like to start with my 2 beautiful daughters because they are part of my why and why I wrote this book. But then I'd like to share about my career and how I went through an awakening at the age of 47. So I got out of university and started my career in the corporate world, and did very well and went up through the corporate ranks, up to a level where I was the head of marketing for a very large corporation, but I was managing two different departments at the same time. I had over 20 people under me, and I was managing multiple budget. And at the same time, I had gone through a divorce, and I was a single mom with two teenage daughters. Often that comes with a few challenges. And then on top of that, at work, I had a boss or a supervisor that was a bully. So everything just added up. And at some point, I reached my breaking point, and my doctor diagnosed me with a burnout. And when that happened, I just I realized I was fully awake, and I said, my life should not be measured based on the number of emails, the number of meetings I have today. It should have a bigger purpose. So when I went on my sick leave, I then made that brave decision to not go back to that company. And since my healing, I completely reinvented myself. I started my own business. I published a book in English and French. I started a podcast for the optical industry, and I just launched this week a coaching business to really help women step into their power and their purpose. And I'm also doing some speaking engagements. So I'm really excited about the future, because my purpose, similar to yours, is now to positively impact the lives of over 1 million people. And I'm going to do this one at a time, but I know I can achieve this, and I'm super excited about doing it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, like you said, being burnt out at that age, 47, that's you're not alone in that. That happens a lot. A lot of women experience that. And I think it's probably because we, like so many other women, we overcompensate sometimes when we're, especially in the workforce. Sometimes you feel like you have to do more, to prove that you can do it, or to prove that you're capable of doing it. And that's sometimes the bad part about a woman, especially when she's in a leadership role. She's always got to be on her P's and Q's. So you're always doing this, you're doing that, but you also have to make sure that that you got those things where that you're going to be micromanaged, or you're going to be watched constantly to see, okay, we got a woman over this, let's see what she's doing and how she's doing it. It's a lot of things sometimes that kind of contribute to that. And but I commend you for walking away from it. I really do, because sometimes some women just stay in it, and until it just takes them completely out, and then they're not good for anything after that. So, but tell us, what lessons from your burnout do you find resonate most with the readers, especially of your book, Love Leads Succeed?
The first one would be to realize that you're an unlimited human being, but at the same time, you are a woman, and it's okay. Sometimes, I know all women, we all want to be strong, and as you said, achieve a lot of things, but it's okay to listen to your intuition and your inner voice, and say, I am tired. I am unlimited, but now I am tired, and I'm going to choose to love me first. And that's the center message of Love Leads Succeed. You can't love others if you don't love yourself first, and you need to take the steps to fully love and take care of yourself. And through the 15 chapters in my book, I talk about many different steps that you can take, including, focusing on the power of your mind by doing some specific exercises,
Mhm.
I talked a lot too about emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
And I talk about this concept of supernatural leadership, and that might sound woo woo, or but
Mhm.
it's supernatural leadership is all about being real and loving yourself first. So it's really leading with authenticity. So I
Mhm.
wrote this book first, for business purposes, but as I was writing it, it just became much bigger. I wasn't expecting to, tap into topics like, the power of the mind.
Mhm.
So this book now is a good read, I think, for anyone that
Mhm.
wants to self improve and really realize their full purpose.
Wow. Now, you also emphasize heart-led leadership. What does that look like in practice compared to traditional leadership models?
Well, heart-led leadership is about, a lot of leaders, thankfully not all of them, they lead from a place of power.
Mhm.
And leadership is really about serving others. So, um, when I had a team reporting to me, I would wake up every morning and I'm like, how can I service my team today?
Mhm.
And I've always said, the best thing that could happen is that one of my team member eventually, gets my position, because
Right.
I always wanted to push them forward.
Mhm.
So yeah, heart-led leadership is about serving other. And then I talk about it a lot in the book. It's also about many other principles, such as using emotional intelligence, the power of
Mhm.
listening, the power of feedback, sometimes whether it's positive feedback or negative feedback, but delivered in a very respectful way so that the employee can really rise and learn from the experience.
Wow. Okay. So now, also, too, many women in executive roles, they still shoulder the majority of household responsibilities. How did you, or how were you able to navigate that? And what lessons do you share with others that's in similar positions?
Yeah, and I think it's I as I mentioned at the beginning, I got a divorce, but it was the case prior to my divorce as well. Like most women, whether they're in a relationship or not, they
Mhm.
do carry a lot of the responsibilities of whether it's the work to be done at home or just managing everyone's schedule. And for me, I was traveling constantly, so it became to be a lot because I would get back from a business trip and just catch up on so much work at
Mhm.
home. So
Mhm.
I think women need to really learn again to listen to their inner voice, and don't be afraid to ask for help if they have a partner. I think we need to have open communications about and reaching out for help, whether it's mental help or just physical help with tasks at home. And I know kids can help too. So that's what I would recommend for all women out there, and take the steps to really take care of your mental health, whether it's through something like a meditation exercise or positive affirmations. But really love yourself and take care of yourself.
Hmm. Now, and that brings me to my next question, because you said the mind is often not kind to us. So, what techniques do you think help people reframe their inner dialogue?
Yes. The techniques that I recommend in my book, first for me, meditation has been a game changer, because I think most of us are like this, but yeah, the noise in my head was just constant, and as you said, that noise is not kind to anyone. So I would walk into a meeting and then think someone is judging me, or I said something, it was wrong.
Mhm.
So meditation allows me to really recenter myself and really clear that noise in my head. And I do it for a good 30 minutes in the morning. But then throughout the day, when I find myself thinking about negative things, then I just recenter myself, take some deep breath. And sometimes it's just focusing on an object, whether it's a cup of tea or coffee. So that's one of the thing that I do. But another thing I do is really using positive affirmation. I listen to my positive affirmations at night. For some people, it might be a little too much because it might prevent them from sleeping or disturbing their partner. But I like to do it at night because this is when your subconscious is really listening. And the other thing that I do to really help me with, I guess, my mindset is gratitude. So I have a beautiful dog on the morning. I take him for a walk every morning, and then I go through the 50 things that I'm the most grateful for. And gratitude just brings happiness, and it's also the ultimate state of receivership. So I think gratitude will always help you have a more positive mind. Just try taking a walk and just saying thank you at every step, and you'll see you'll start being happy, because the word thank you is a gratitude word, and it just brings you more happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. This is sort of like smiling. People, like they said with smiling, it's contagious. If you smile and if you smile at somebody, most people, they'll smile back. They don't know why, but they'll smile back at you. So, but yeah, because it's one of those things, like you say, it's the mind that will direct you in that area. So if your mind is always going down that negative path, then that's where it's gonna that's where you're going to stay. So tell us, what signs show a leader is caught in hustle culture, and how can they start to shift out of that type of culture?
Yeah, sometimes that one can be a tough one, because from my experience, I knew, I guess, probably a couple of months prior to finally admitting, I am not well, I need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I had talking to HR. I had spoken with my bosses. Like, I wasn't quiet about it, because I knew it was just getting worse and worse. And I was asking for help,
Mm-hmm.
for them to hire someone to help me, because I was doing two different high executive positions at the same time. And that did not do anything. So I wasn't listened to. So my recommendation for anyone that goes through this stress and burnout or anxiety would be to talk to work about it, but maybe get some external help as well. And the thing with burnout really is that it doesn't it's not like a light switch and it just happens like this. Like, it creeps in slowly.
Yeah.
And if you're like most women, you're a high achiever, so you just brush it off as oh, you're tired, you
Bad
didn't sleep
day.
good last night, you're
Mhm,
just
mhm.
tired.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so you need to really the sign for me when I knew I couldn't do it anymore is I was sitting in front of my computer, and I was trying to draft an email, like just a few lines in the email. Well, that took me 45 minutes. So I said,
Mm.
yeah, I think there's a problem with me. So I went to see the doctor, and then often burnout comes with depression. So I was also more emotional than usual.
Mhm.
But I would say to women, if you're feeling exhausted, feeling anxiety, burnt out, talk to someone about it. If work is not listening, talk to anyone that's in your
Mhm.
network. And I think for sure somebody will be able to support you and help you out.
Wow. And it's unfortunate, like you said, you went to HR and they just didn't. But the thing about, I think, with HR is that the mindset of that's not the mindset of HR to help you through any type of emotional setback or anything that you might be feeling. I really don't think they know how to deal with that at all. And so that's probably why you did not get any type of help or support when you went to them. Yeah. I think a lot of companies have to maybe create just a specific group or maybe department or something that can deal with that and handle that and help people through that, in order for their employees to not to experience what you went through. They
Yeah,
really.
and I think corporation, they really need to stop celebrating the hustle culture. As
Mhm,
you said, creating a group that would help their employees with mental health, that's a good thing to do, but it's also creating boundaries for the
mhm.
employees. I know in Canada, in some provinces, they now have laws that you can't receive, an email after 5 p.m. And that's a good thing because
That's good. Yeah.
you can never disconnect. Like I would get emails from my boss at 6 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning,
I know.
midnight. They would reach out to me for a report on the weekend. So
Mhm.
when you can never disconnect and take care of your mental health,
Exactly.
that this burnout is in the horizon when that happens.
You're exactly right, because I remember there was a position that I was in, and we were they gave, issued, that was just this was during the time when they still had the beepers, and we were issued beepers, which meant that when they beeped you, you had so much time to respond back to them, for whatever reason or what might be going on, so you could find out if you needed to come in, if you weren't already there in the building, if you needed to come in and handle something or what have you. And at some point, like you, I got to the point where, well, wait a minute, I'm not giving you 24/7 like that.
No.
This doesn't work for me. you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it just, that just stopped working for me. And I did that probably for about 3 or 4 years. And then after that, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. So I had to move to, into something else. And so I can understand where you're coming from when you talk about these things. I tell you. So tell us, what was it like though to reinvent yourself at 47 years old? And what advice would you give to professionals who feel stuck mid-career?
Yeah, it was, if anything, it was very empowering. And when I stopped working at the beginning, I didn't know I was going to write a book, but I've always wanted to write a book, but I was so busy working 80
Mhm,
hours a week that I didn't write the book. But one morning, I just, from all the learnings, podcasts I was listening to, books I was reading, therapy, meditation, then I said, well, I need to share what I've gone through and my experience with the world. So this is, it just became very clear to me. What I would recommend for people that want to reinvent themselves is
mhm.
to choose love over fear. Fear is the biggest obstacle to anything, because I mentioned a few different projects and things that I've just launched. Well, does it feel scary sometimes? Yeah, it's
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
hard to be to be self-employed. You don't have a guaranteed paycheck,
Right.
but you can either choose fear or love. So I would say, don't be afraid to take risks, but you just have to believe in yourself. Like, I think people don't have big enough dream. They need to dream bigger and truly believe in it. And if people like the concept of manifestation, I believe in that too. But the first step, yes, it's to choose love over fear. And after that, I would say it wasn't clear for me like what company I wanted to start and what services I was going to offer. But
Mhm,
I really I love journaling, and I think it's good for most women to do it. I wrote
mhm.
down my goals, and then I did my pros and cons of doing this versus this, and then I just listened to my heart. It spoke
Right.
to me. I would really love, for instance, to coach people, help people. So I would say doing a journaling would be very helpful. And
Mhm.
then if doing pros and cons still don't help you, I don't want to talk about AI, but it could help you in really having a more of a scientific way of
Mhm.
analyzing what your input is, because sometimes we're too close to our goals and what we like or don't like to really decide what would make sense to
Mhm.
create. But we're all human beings born with unlimited power, and strengths. So we are all creators. So don't be afraid if you're not happy at work. Life is short, and we spend so many hours at work. Just find another job, but really think about what would really drive you. Because life is short, you should love your work, love what you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. If you get up in the morning, you wake up in the morning and you think about, oh, I got to go to this job again today. I don't want to be there. Then you need to start looking for something else, because
Yes.
that's just not healthy, for one thing, to
No.
constantly go through that on a daily basis. That's not healthy at all. It really is. So, now you're fluent in both corporate marketing strategy and personal growth. So, how do you bridge those two worlds when you're speaking to your audience?
When I speak to people and through my coaching, I'm not going to talk too much about marketing strategies,
Hmm.
because what I want to empower people with is really having control over their mind and really believing in themselves and their full potential. So I really want to empower women, and especially the ones that I want them to rise from burnout and fatigue and
Hmm.
stress. My marketing skills I've used, in my consulting business, and of course I use them to help get my message out about my book platform, and really help people through my social media. I started doing daily clips with tips.
Hmm.
So that's how I use my marketing. But for speaking engagement and coaching, I want to really focus on the people and how I can help them rise a little higher.
Good. And most of your audience or your clients, you work mostly with women, or do you work both with men and women?
I focus mainly on women,
Okay.
but I'm not, I guess, against working with men in the future. It's just a natural fit with
Mhm.
what I've gone through.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but I should explore getting a couple of clients that are men. I'm sure I could support and help them as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I tend to work mainly with women too, because it's like you kind of want to keep them from, going through what you've gone through, kind of keep them from making some of the mistakes or what have you. So, yeah, it's just easier, I think, to do that. And even with the show here, maybe the majority of my guests are women, but I do bring on men too, because the information they share can also be valuable to women. They could, get something out of it. So it does, sometimes they do come into play for some of the things that we're trying to do, as far as when we're trying to help women. So I get that. And since we're trying to reach that million plus women, we have to get all the resources we can to be able
Yes.
to help them and to be able to do that. Absolutely. So can you share a moment with us when meditation or mindset practice made the biggest difference in your own leadership?
Um, I mean, I guess I could share I, I would say, I don't know if there's one moment in particular. For me,
Mhm.
it's every day, because
Oh,
every day I don't let myself, well, some people say you should get out of bed and not meditate in your bed because people fall back asleep. But
mhm.
I meditate in bed in the morning, and I don't get out of my bed until I do a 30-minute meditation.
Oh.
But it's the way to plan my day as well, right? In my
Mhm.
head,
Mhm.
I go into, well, nothing and pure silence, but I also think about what I want in my life. So I go through my goals. If I want, for instance, positively impacting the life of 1 million people.
Mhm.
I believe that your energy will create your life. So what you think about, you bring about. So if I really want to achieve that goal of 1 million people, I just have to keep reminding myself. So I
Yeah.
not only include it in my meditation in the morning, but I have like papers posted on the walls or in the
Hmm.
bathroom
Oh
with
yeah.
my goals to remind me of my goals daily. Because if you forget about it, it may not happen because you create the life you want.
You want. And you're
Yeah.
like me. You sound like me. I have pen, I have paper, I have I have all over the house. And because when an idea come, I want to be able to jot it down, or what have you. I don't want to, oh, I gotta go run downstairs and get a piece of paper. No, I got I got paper and pens
Yeah.
upstairs. So yeah, I'm the same way. I even in my car, because I'll be driving along sometimes and something might come, oh, I can do this, and by the time I get home, I may not fully remember what that idea was. So I could just jot it down right then and there, while I'm in the car. So I even keep paper and pencil in the car and pen in the car too, to be able to do that. And I find that it does help because that's like you say, that keeps you focused on your goal and what
Yes.
you're trying to do. And if we're trying to, again, get to 1 million plus people, you don't do that by just sitting down looking at the wall, paint peeling on the wall or anything like that. You have to be doing something, keeping your mind creative so that you could come up with these ways to be able to do that. So yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing to, manifestation is that you have to take action. Like you can't I think I manifested my book, but I certainly had to take actions and
Yeah,
write it, right? It's just,
exactly.
and it's not magic. You need to work towards your goal.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, from your experience leading some of the world's biggest eyewear brands, what can other industries learn about customer engagement and loyalty?
Well, I think I'm going to bring it back to service. I built my success in marketing and sales really on building strong relationships. And
Mhm.
I have a chapter in my book that talks about this. I mean, y- you can't underestimate the power of strong relationship. You never know what that relationship with one person can bring in your life.
Mhm.
So I had amazing relationships with my customers, my team, most of the other leaders, and those relationships, they just paid forward all the time. So I would say that that's one thing. Of course, we need to have engaging objectives as well. So I talk about those in my book. In the corporate world,
Mhm.
you need to have really a vision for your team and have goals. And when possible, don't necessarily decide exactly the goals for your team members. Like you need to engage them in that process so that they're really part of it.
Mhm.
And then I would say that emotional intelligence becomes key in that entire process as well.
Right. Wow. So, if you had one piece of advice to leave with our viewers, what would that advice be?
Um, I would say that leading with love is the most courageous way to transform your results. And
Mhm.
again, do not choose fear over love. Always choose love and trust that you're an unlimited human being capable of amazing things, and always love yourself first, and the love for others and the love for you from others will come from that.
Absolutely. And if someone wanted to, tell us about your book. For one, we know about the name of it is Love, Lead, Succeed. But if they wanted to get a copy of the book, how could they do so?
Yeah, so my book, Love, Lead, Succeed, The Supernatural Approach to Business and Life, teaches leaders to really drive results through love centered leadership. And I
Mhm.
bring, as I mentioned, the power of the mind, emotional intelligence, purpose, and practical tools into that. And I really have some great practical tips in there. The first chapter shares my journey, you know,
Mhm.
and it's I think it's very inspiring.
Okay.
So if they want to get the book, they can get a copy on Amazon, or if some of the audience are not readers, you can also listen to it on Audible.
Okay. Okay. And if they also wanted to reach out to you, I know you mentioned several things that you're going to be doing. You talked about some coaching programs that you have coming up. Tell us about that, and then tell us how we could, if we wanted to reach out to you to find out more about any of that, or maybe they just want to talk to you more about your book. How could they contact you?
Absolutely. They can reach me on Instagram at Isabel Tremblay Author 2025. I also have a Facebook page for I guess, my books, which is also
Mhm.
Isabel Tremblay Author. I also have a website for my products and services, which is loveleadsucceed.ca. And finally, I'm also reachable on LinkedIn. But regarding the next steps, I am just starting the coaching business. Again, I want to focus the clients that I want to help mainly are women, but I could also help some men, and I really want to help people rise higher, so live a life filled with purpose as well, and empower them.
Mhm.
So this is the next steps. I will be taking some speaking engagements as well. I have a couple reserved for next year, but I'm working on getting a few more to really talk about my book content, and continue to work towards my mission of helping over 1 million people.
Wow. Well, good. And you said your website is so that'll be www.loveleadsucceed.ca.
.ca, yes.
Gotcha. So we'll put that up there on the screen so that our viewers will be able to see that and reach out to you. I want to thank you so much for coming and giving us, some of your success nuggets of how, you know, uh, we don't have to put up with burnout. I mean, it is, I mean, you really just learn how to walk away. Sometimes you just have to learn how to say no too,
Yes, I think Oprah talks a lot about that. Setting boundaries is very
Yeah.
important. But I want to
Absolutely.
thank you for having me on, because I love your mission, and I just watched
Thank
your
you.
TED video this morning, and it was so inspiring.
Well,
Love the
thank you.
work that you do. So
I'm
congrats
trying
on
to reach a
everything.
million on that too.
Yeah,
We're getting up there, so I'm pushing for a million viewers on my TEDx also. But I want to thank you, and I will probably reach out to you some more since our missions are the same. Maybe just keep in touch, let you know what I'm doing, and you can let me know what you're doing. Who knows? We may be able to help each other, support each other in some way to get that reach around the world, reach those women that we're trying to reach.
I would absolutely love that.
All righty. Thank you so much for being here. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you to Isabel Tremblay. And now I'm just going to let everybody know what's going on. I am also um, honored to be, I was honored to be selected as one of the She Rises Studios 365 features for the month of November. I was so excited about that. It's founded by Hannah Olivas and Adriana Luna, She Rises Studios is a global women's empowerment company dedicated to giving women a platform to share their stories, elevate their brands, and inspire others. They have a strong presence in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and their mission continues to uplift and unite women around the world. So it was a privilege to be featured alongside such phenomenal women who are using their voices and leadership to make a difference. I will also be a guest on the Business Origin Stories podcast Wednesday, December 10th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will be taking part in the Umoja Leaders Awards ceremony as one of their recipients on Monday, December 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Umoja Awards will be honoring a cohort of visionaries, coaches, pastors, and change makers who quietly uplift, guide, and inspire others through their unwavering love, service, and impact. And I'm still excited about the fact that the Successful Women Radio and TV show making the list of the top 100 best career mindset and working women podcasts, and that we are sitting at number 16 on the list. So we're going to keep pushing it out there. Maybe we could get a little higher. Who knows? We might make number 1. And I don't think that's number 16 out of 100 is bad, if I have to say so myself. And this list highlights podcasts that empower women to build successful careers, navigate workplace challenges, and find true fulfillment in work and life. So I am definitely honored to be among that number. Make sure to check out my book, Show Up to Rise Up, Explore the Transformative Power of a Positive Mindset, which achieved bestseller status on Amazon in the Women and Business category, and it's available for purchase. So if you want to, or if you're ready to embrace change and to start living your best life, now is the time, and this book will show you the way to do that. It's available on Amazon. To get your copy, you can go on Amazon, put my name in the search box, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, and it will come up. Or you could go on my website, www.exwsi.com, and go on hit the bar for the Success Store. And you'll also be able to purchase a copy of the book. And again, if you have not viewed my TEDx talk that was done in Vancouver, Canada, make sure to do so. The topic is Show Up to Rise Up. You can watch it on YouTube, again, just by putting in my name in the search box, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, and it will come right up. If you'd like the direct link, you can email me at info@exwsi.com, and I'll send you the direct link for that. Again, remember, our goal is to reach 1 million+ views. So I want to thank those of you in advance for your support, and those that have continued to share, to like, and to comment on the video. And finally, I am a contributing writer to the Own It magazine, where I share nuggets and resources every month. Own It magazine is a resource for personal, professional, and business development. So if you'd like to get a subscription, a free subscription, it is free. It'll be a digital subscription. If you want a printed copy, you will have to pay for that. But if you want the digital copy, it's free. You can contact me, email me, info@exwsi.com, and I will get you a free copy. As a matter of fact, you may want to get the December issue. It is beautiful. A lot of great nuggets in there. So if you'd like a copy of that, email me and just put in the subject line, Own It magazine copy, and I will definitely make sure to get you a copy. Again, this has been the Successful Women Show. I would like to thank my guests and my viewers and my listeners for joining me today. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can email me at info@exwsi.com or go to my website, www.exwsi.com. And while you're there, make sure you download my free 3-part video series on 3 things every woman should do to position herself for executive leadership. As you watch this episode today, make sure that you share it. Make sure that you comment on it, and make sure that you like this episode, because we got some great nuggets today from our guest, Ms. Isabel Tremblay. Again, this is the Success for Women show. We're here every week. I am your host, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, helping women to accelerate the path to success. Again, thank you for joining me. And as you know, I love you all to life. And as always, be well and stay safe out there.
This is success, successful.